My name's Bruce Howell. I contributed the article First Encounter, a reassessment based upon the Endeavour journals for the East Coast Encounters book. I concentrated on the first encounter, partly because I live very close to where it happened in what they call Cook's Landing Place out at Kurnell. I visited that site hundreds of times. I've made a study of it. In fact, I've tried to imagine what it would be like out there on the 29th of April 1770 when the Endeavour first came through the heads, and then what happened shortly after. I think it's important to always make an attempt to look at it from both sides. So just as it was the first landfall for the British ship on the east coast of this continent, it was also the first time that the people of the east coast of this continent had ever had visitors from outside the continent, which in some ways is much more significant. The British had already visited at least 3 different lands on the Endeavour journey: Tierra del Fuego, Tahiti, New Zealand, and there were many experiences, both good and bad, in that time. It was not so much a special occasion for them. I guess it was good to be able to get out on dry land and walk around after a month at sea and to replenish the stocks of the ship. But for the people who lived in Botany Bay, it would have been a far more lasting event that would have had an effect on everybody in and around Botany Bay for a long time. So trying to look at it from both sides, as far as possible, it's not easy to put yourself in the same situation as the people in Kamay, because we can really only go by our own imaginations and our own intuitions there. If you want to try and look at it from the point of view of the visitors, well, that's much easier because of the journals. But the good thing about the journals is that they tell us a great deal about what the journal keepers saw, and of course they saw the Guigal every single day except on the last day, day 8, when they didn't see anybody. But there were many encounters, many interesting little cameos. The critically important one, of course, is when the first encounter took place, when the landing party attempted to come to shore but was opposed by 2 Guigal men. That was a singular point in our history. To try and understand it is not an easy thing. And I don't mean just by guessing what happened. So trying to get into the head of James Cook, trying to get into the heads of the 2 Guigal men, that's what the aim of my article was. What I did was have a look at what happened prior to the arrival in Botany Bay. There had been 30,000 kilometres of voyage across the oceans. There had been many different encounters and events, and my article looks at what happened prior to and tries to use those events to understand to what extent we can why that particular first encounter worked the way it did. Just in finishing, I'd like to especially thank Pauline Kirby, supervising editor for the book, for the amazing job that she did, especially for the degree to which she assisted me, the many discussions we had about my article, and the overall process of getting the final edit into place. So thank you very much, Pauline.